go ahead and call this special budget session, Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting. Also sitting as special taxing district, May 1, 2023, 1 p.m. And board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferencing. Supervisor Reyes is on his way. There's a lot of traffic, he said, on Avenue B. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Go ahead and move on to call to the public. Call to the public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. We'll move on straight to discussion and action items, and pass it on to Ian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I mentioned earlier, when I presented the recommended budget to the board, this has been a long process, many months of work from our staff at OMB and in finance, human resource, administration, and others, directors of different departments and elected officials throughout the county. So today we have an opportunity to hear from different offices and departments and outside agencies on their ideas and perspectives and goals with their budget. So with that, Budget Manager Lucia Gomez will call each name, and the person called can approach the podium.
Good afternoon, Chairman Porches, members of the board. Lucia Gomez. I will be referencing to your booklet on May 1st. You guys should have a booklet. And first we have Greater Yuma Economic Development Cooperation. Julie Engel, President and CEO, is available for any questions. Under your outside agencies, page 3.
Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, and good afternoon. And I don't know if do I need to state my name and address for the record?
Bank account and.
Okay, yeah, social, okay. No, okay. I just want to say we're very grateful that the Budget Committee and the staff and everyone has recommended what the amount was we requested, which is our per capita base funding. And that consistency is so beneficial to our efforts to be able to continue doing what we're doing. So I have absolutely nothing to add other than thank you very much for your continued support. And we're very grateful to what they recommended, and we hope that's what's approved.
Any questions for Julie? Well, thank you, Judy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Next, we have Crossroads Mission. Myra Garlick, Chief Executive Officer, is available for any questions. Under outside agencies tabs, page 4.
Good afternoon. Sorry for my rough start back there, but
Good afternoon.
I made it up here.
All right.
We want to thank you so much for the recommended amount, and I brought some brochures for you to share with you. One of them says Offering Hope, and you can rest assured that that's what the mission does always, is offer hope. We also continue to try to build our men's shelter. We're in a capital campaign, and we're having a delicious barbecue drive-through. You don't even have to stop, just drive through and we'll throw it at you. I love that. And once again, thank you so much. I can answer any questions.
Any questions?
Is there a possibility that we could increase it by $5,000, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, if that's the will of the board, yes.
One of the things, as we go as we go through this process. But you know, we work, like you saw Julie here, GYDC. We work with the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension, and every year we give money to them, but the county works directly. I'm almost directly with them, you know, kind of the nonprofits that like Prosper Missions and Yuma Community Food Bank. I would like to see at least, or something like a report, maybe of an audit, the last audit that was done, basically. So that way we have something on the books that when someone comes and says, hey, well, you're giving money here and there, just for us to go back and say, oh, this is what it is, and this is helping out the community like any other nonprofit is. But just to the ones that we give directly money to, if that's possible. I don't know, how is that with the legal and
We do receive volume reports, I believe, and I know the food bank gives us, I believe, quarterly reports, so.
So we do get them.
we do get them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And I'll always be happy to take more money.
Just thinking
Uh-huh.
that with inflation and things going up and just all of
It
it.
is, and I'm not being flippant. I just appreciate any penny that we get, everything we try to put to good use, and we do a very good job.
Yes, if you've ever attended the graduations. drug
Mr.
court
Chairman?
graduations.
And I would say,
Go ahead.
I would say, you know, one of the things, I know every time we get donations from our partners, the tribes, we do pass it on. At least that's my intention, you know, pass it on to the nonprofits, and I think we did.
Yeah.
This past year, I'm sure. But as we're going through this budget year, and this is for Supervisor Lynn, you know, we have a lot of on our plate that we want to distribute, and maybe it's something that we can look for next year.
I agree.
if
Okay,
it's-
thank you.
I'll send you our audit also.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And,
That
I
was
mean,
it.
oh,
That
okay.
was it. Just to make
Thank
sure
you.
that-
Thank you.
I'd like to talk about it then for next year.
Next, we have University of Arizona Cooperative Extension. Russ Engel, Cooperative Extension Director, is available for any questions. Under Outside Agencies tabs, page 1.
Russ, welcome.
Thanks.
Like your shirt,
How are
by the
you?
way.
Thank you. Good. So we're extremely pleased with what was proposed for us. That was what we were asked. That's what we asked for. Just want to say thank you very much. We appreciate the support. We couldn't do the programming that we do. We couldn't offer the things that we offer this community without your support. So thank you very much. With that being said, if I may, you know, our biggest concern right now is the future facility for us. So the last presentation I was at, the proposal was to build us a new building there at the health center site. And I understand that it's still in planning and still being talked about, and there's other options being talked about. And all I would say and all I would ask is please include us in any discussions. Please, you know, work with us and to get to know our needs and what we really need for a facility. To extend an invitation to Ian and Dave and all of you, any of you, please, anytime, you're welcome to come down, see our facility, talk about our programming and what our needs are. So that's it.
All right, no, definitely. Ian, is that, I know we're meeting to plan on future buildings, or can we send him invite him and be part of it?
I will do that, you bet.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I was just gonna say, give the money back and we can put it towards the building.
Close down programming.
Thank you, Russ.
We should build them a tin building like we did for Diana's materials, but make it a little bigger and put it right there on that lot. They guys, I mean, that would make, I've seen the inside of those, you can't even tell they're a tin building.
We'll be discussing on that meeting, you know,
I know. Okay.
planning for building, so. And
Thank you.
and he'll be there, so
Yes, he
we'll
will.
get his
Thank you.
input. Thank you.
Next, we have Yuma Community Food Bank, Sarah Whitehead, President and Chief Executive Officers, available for any questions. Under Outside Agencies tab, page 2.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to thank you. We're very grateful as well. There probably could never be enough money you could throw at the food bank, but, you know, we try to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars. We, all of our audits are on any of the Charity Navigator. Be happy to provide directly to Ian and his team. Right now, we're waiting on our fiscal year 22. Should be ready in about 2 weeks. Other than that, we're here to serve.
Oh, any questions?
I'm kind of like, thinking like we did with the, we were talking about with Crossroads. They're gonna be getting hit big time with this influx with 142 going away, or 42, and
Already seeing it.
I don't know, we can up it, I would think,
Mhm.
I agree.
you know, because they're gonna get, I think, hit hardest of all the,
Well, and just as a reminder,
a lot of them come to you.
we provide resources to many of our agencies, you know, so while you'll see long lines in front of ours, it's nothing compared to what our agencies are experiencing right now during, not what's going to be coming, but what is happening.
I would,
So can I propose that we go through it and then at the end we say, okay, maybe we do, I mean, I don't wanna.
look at 10
Mhm.
extra,
And
just because of what's coming, and we can talk about it afterwards, but they're gonna, like I said, I think they're gonna be, out of all the nonprofits, they're gonna be the one hit the hardest with this influx that's
Well,
gonna come in.
they provide food for the other nonprofits.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
those nonprofits are also.
We are
going to be-
purchasing more foods now than we ever have been, just because there's less that's coming through the USDA. Over 30% of our orders from last year were canceled. So that really put the onus on the food bank to be able to be nimble, resourceful, and again, be good stewards.
May I ask why USDA cut you by 30%?
There's several different reasons, but for the most part, the ordering is done through the Department of Economic Security. And we were told that they were outbid. They were outbid for the load. So it's a bidding process.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another nonprofit, I mean, another food bank, or another,
You know, it's a vast world out there with the USDA and how they manage the farm bill and the funds that come through there. So, still learning.
thank you.
We can bring it back
so
at the end.
we can bring it back at the end and, all right. Any other questions, sir? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Board of Supervisors. County Administrator Ian McGahey is available for any questions. Under the Board of Supervisors tab, staffing is on page 1.
Mr. Chair, just to repeat, really the only thing of note is that the Board of Supervisors contingency adds that $120,000 for the county's contribution toward the potential establishment of the National Center for Public Lands Counties. Other than that, it's standard fare.
I was thinking of more, not.
A raise?
Ray, no. Thank you. Yeah, any questions or any comment? No. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Next, we have the County Administrator's Office. County Administrator Ian McGahey is available for any questions. Under County Administrator tab, page 2 is staffing.
And Mr. Chair, we're happy with the budget. The only thing really of note is the recommendation to decrease one FTE security officer, which will be added to human resources. It's just a transfer from admin to HR. Other than that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Pretty much. All right. Thank you.
Next, we have Human Resources. Jessica Rodriguez, Interim Human Resources Director, is available for any questions. Under the Human Resources tab, staffing is on page 2.
Chairman Porches, members of the board, Jessica Rodriguez, Interim Human Resources Director. I would just like to extend my appreciation for all of your support for my department and am available for any questions you may have.
Any questions for Jessica?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All you do.
Next, we have Information Technology Services. Cliff Summers, Chief Information Services Officer, is available for any questions. Under the Information Technology Services tab, staffing is on page 2.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. Cliff Summers, Chief Information Officer, Yuma County.
If I won't say what Tony says, okay? I get.
He's not here, he can say a lot.
What, you okay?
We're satisfied with our budget. There's always things that we could use, but as it stands, we're satisfied.
And I know we talked for IT as late, at the retreat about how we need to really look out. And I think we'll get there. If I know definitely we'll start this coming budget, or for next year, we'll start looking at things that we need to be secure.
I really appreciate the board being aware of IT security and IT needs. We really appreciate it.
Do that again.
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Health District. Diana Gomez, Public Health Services Chief Health Officer, is available for any questions. Under Health District tab, staffing is on page 2.
Hello, Chairman Porches, members of the board. Diana Gomez, Director of Public Health. I was just here. I'd like to thank you for your ongoing support, as well as the budget review team. I know they're for supporting our budget requests, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Too soon.
No.
Are you
no,
okay with,
no
your,
vaccine questions, okay?
Yes, thank
okay
you.
with your, with your tax rate? Is it gonna cover you? Does it give you enough?
I think so.
Mr. Chair and Supervisor Reyes, their funds come through sales taxes, so we don't have a tax rate for the health district.
It's only my 25th year, I should know that.
And I know the book says 1 FTE for registered sanitarian, but I think we approved 2.
We're gonna get 2.
That is correct. The recommended budget had 1 sanitarian, but upon further review, it was decided that it would be prudent to add that second one.
All right. Well, thank you then. Thank you.
Food truck.
We're happy, we're happy.
Next, we have the Library District. Lisa Mendez, Library Director, is available for any questions. Under the Library District tab, staffing is on page 2.
Chairman Porches, members of the board, we're happy with our budget. Just remind like we did at the retreat that we do have some capital improvement projects. One coming up, hopefully will be finished next year, depending on getting the air conditioning equipment in. And then after that, we have continuing projects.
And we definitely are aware of it, so, well, thank you. Yes. Any questions for Lisa? Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Public Fiduciary. Claudia Ramirez, Public Fiduciary, is available for any questions. Under the Public Fiduciary tab, staffing is on page 1.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Claudia Ramirez, Public Fiduciary, and I'm very thankful for the budget. I don't have any.
Well, any questions for Claudia?
I have a question. How come you don't have any training budget?
We do. We actually have some training for our certified fiduciaries, and there's also some funding available as well for the other administrative staff.
Oh, I see, 10,000.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking over at the very far side.
Okay, no problem.
Well, thank you, Claudia. Thank you.
Next, we have Housing. Jesus Roldan, Housing Director, is available for any questions. Under the Housing tab, page 1 is staffing.
Good afternoon. I'm happy with my budget, so.
Right.
Any questions, let me know.
The comment, we'll expect to see your 10-year plan pretty soon.
Yeah, we're in talks. We spoke with Josh, and we're getting some things going on, and then get back with you guys for that plan.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Public Defender, Ray Hanna, Public Defender, is available for any questions. Under the Public Defenders tab, staffing is on page 1.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. We're appreciative of the recommendations and available for any questions.
Any questions?
How's the move? Is it
It's
progressing?
in progress. We hope next week, mid next week, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the legal defender.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Bill Fox is tied up in court. Oh, you want to speak for him? Sure.
He's attending to the case flow.
Gotta change your shoes, though.
Yes, sir.
He'll-
But everything is going well. I saw him in the parking lot, and he wanted to express his appreciation for the budget review team.
I thought he was gonna say he wanted to transfer from legal offender to public. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, you have to have very different shoes. So.
Thank you. No, he was fine with
He
the
was fine with,
recommended
all right,
budget.
thank you.
Did you say hi? Yeah.
Next, we have financial services. Gil Villegas, Chief Financial Officer, is available for any questions. Under the Financial Services tab, staffing is on page 1.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Gil Villegas. In regards to our budget, we're very happy with it. Not a lot of changes that we have through our line items. Just an increase in our bills that we pay for APS and some utilities. It's just normal business. Other than that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Document preservation. This is a requirement, huh?
Document preservation, I understand it is a requirement from the state statute.
Questions for Gil? No?
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
One chance to rake him over the coals.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. How did you come up with those numbers?
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
So,
Lucia. Oh, Lucia came up with them. Can you explain that, Lucia?
if there are no objections, I'd like to move on the improvement districts. I usually have a very brief presentation for all of you. Before I start, I'm going to ask Elsa if you can distribute the handout.
Oh, there's a handout.
And the PowerPoint, yay.
And a
Oh, I'm so excited. Ooh. First question, does everybody know?
Everybody knows.
Everybody checked in, huh? At a time when the city of San Luis didn't send their numbers in, and they were complaining later, so. They send their numbers in.
So Rosa Reyes, that's for the adoption of the tax rates. So they usually wait until first week in August for me to get those numbers. So, Mr. Chairman, just a couple of introductions. Elsa Garcia, she's my accountant 1, and she helps me with all the improvement districts. This is a process that we do every year, try to figure out the budget for all the multiple improvement districts that we have. Also with us today, Rachel Starworth, Improvement District Coordinator, and I understand you have an assistant today. I'm sorry I didn't get her name.
Brianna Gonzalez.
Brianna Gonzalez now doing this as well. And the interim public director, Kelly, I don't think she's here. Usually she's the one that handles the all the signing of the papers as the interim public works director. So every year I have a little presentation for the improvement district. It's just a vast summary of all the districts that we have. So if there are any questions, let me see if I can, there you go.
Some of these went up quite a bit.
Actually, it's we gained one improvement district net in the entire, for the fiscal year. So we have a total of 165 active improvement districts. 74 of them are general purpose, 49 in street lights, and 42 irrigation districts. We have more improvement districts than actually funds with Yuma County, all our special revenues, capital improvement districts. So they do take a lot of time for us to go through all of them. In addition to the 165, we have 2 special assessments. We have Gazin and BNC Colonial that we are collecting from the residents so we can make payments on the loans that they have taken. One improvement, there is the possibility there's going to be a 3rd special assessment for the Tacna Water irrigation project. One capital improvement district, which is Tacna Water, ongoing right now. In our revolving fund, the one that funds Rachel, her assistants, and all the meetings that we have with different perspectives of the new improvement districts. Like I said, one new improvement district, we're still in the works to discontinue or delete 5 districts that we have. Hopefully, second week in June, we can send them to you. Right now, we're just following whatever the statute guidance that we have, which is for 5 years of inactivity. We just go before the board, so the board can elect to dissolve those districts. A little reminder how the cost has been, how much we charge all these improvement districts. We're not in the business of making money for administrating those businesses. We just want to recuperate our costs, and sometimes we don't even do that. For this year, we're going to be collecting a total of $212,000, $213, and that is based off 2 separate rates that we charge some of the districts. General fund, which is $3.60 per parcel, and we have different rates for those districts that require additional attention from our improvement district coordinator. How do we do this rate for the general fund? Well, we take salaries, we take expenses that we do from the assessor's office. They are the ones that record all the plats, do all the official documentation, administration, there is some oversight, and of course, financial services and supplies and services. Total cost, $72,000, which is very, very minimal. We divide that by the total number of parcels that we have. That's how we arrive at the $3.60 per parcel. This is just the general fund. This is a system that we implemented back in fiscal year 1920. So we're coming very close to review the numbers to see if we need to improve or change that rate. Fiscal year 2019, 2020.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you're like 100 years in this.
Whoa.
You got a good memory, Gil.
Don't show your age, I'll tell you.
A similar scenario that we have for the revolving fund. That's how we arrived to the $4.47. Again, our objective is to recuperate some of the costs, even sometimes we're not close to that. So overall, for all the improvement districts, the total appropriations that we have is almost $2.2 million. That's a 3.1 increase from the prior fiscal year. This does include the reserves. And one thing that we have been doing in all the years, try to improve those reserves for those improvement districts. We know something goes wrong in an irrigational district or one of those improvement districts, the repairs are not that inexpensive, they're very expensive. How do we fund that $2.2 million? Well, we have the assessments that we do through each one of them. That's when we set the rate and we collect from them. We have all the revenues, usually reimbursements from the constituents that we have, and we try to utilize as much as we can the fund balance that we have available. As you can see, we have appropriated $826,000 in fund balance, but we're going to be utilizing $899,000. So whatever extra is out there, we're using it so we can lower those tax rises. You have a summary of 91 improvement districts increasing their assessments, 53 actually going to decrease, and there is no changes to 21 improvement districts. Fairly quickly, the 2 special assessments, we have Gadsden, $84,000. It's still outstanding. BNC Colonial, we have 2 loans there that we're servicing, USDA and WIFA. So total outstanding right now is $1 million, $60,000. Again, just as a notice, next fiscal year or fiscal year 24, probably we're going to have a new loan for the Tacna Water infrastructure project. And we have our one CIP, which right now is just what we think we're going to spend next year, $9.8 million. The majority of that is coming from grants, and there's a possibility of a loan as well. The revolving fund, the total appropriation, $320,000. That includes salaries, all the services, and a little bit of supplies and services. Total charge for services, as I mentioned earlier, is $132,000. It's actually a decrease what we have done in prior fiscal year. And all the revenues, these are reimbursements for the services that we provide, $25,000. And again, we're trying to utilize whatever fund balance is available right now so we can keep those service charges less. With that, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'll be happy to answer any questions in all those districts that we have.
I have a question, Gil.
I have a couple of questions.
Lynn, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just looking at Valley Citrus, and it's a general improvement district, general purposes. And when I get over here to the far left, it's a $1,500 assessment increase. And that means for each parcel, it's going to go up $75 per person, per parcel. Is that correct? Am I reading this correctly?
Yeah, that's what it's showing on the spreadsheet for each one of them.
Okay.
So that we include both the total as overall for the fund
Mhm.
and how much each parcel is going. And I'm gonna have to ask the improvement district coordinator to tell us exactly what is going on in that improvement districts if we want to have more information about it.
There's one, yeah, there's one that, it was quite a bit. Was it quite, oh, there it is. Fortuna del Oro, $3,000 increase, $142.85 per person, per lot is going to go up. So I just, that's what I'm looking at right now, is some of them that are pretty high. Can you tell me why they're?
Supervisor Pancrase, yes, I can go through it right now, show you the line items, or if you want me to, you can give me a list of all of them, and I will specifically address each one of them.
You and I can do this at another time.
It will be more effective.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions and so I've got like a comment. On the irrigation water districts, which is like, I don't know, 30, maybe 40% of all your irrigation districts, so water districts, which we talked about before. Is this mostly in the counties now? Because, the cities are supposed to be addressing that issue directly. Most of the water districts is still outstanding and are in the county?
Chairman Supervisor Reyes, that's my understanding. The majority of this district still reside in the county side, not necessarily inside the city limits, Yuma, San Luis, or Somerton.
So if we say, for example, Edmwood West, would that be inside the city? We got Desert Sky units, we got Lynch subdivision, so.
We can take a look at those. Supervisor Reyes, to see if they reside within the city, or maybe Rachel, do you have any idea where they are located, the ones that they're referring to?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear him.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Desert
On the
Lake.
irrigation water district, I'm interested in finding out, and it doesn't have to be today, but I'm interested in finding out how many of those irrigation water districts are within city boundaries, whether it's San Luis, Somerton, or Yuma, or Welton. And the reason is to try to see if there's a process that we can tell people they have to go through, they're not in the county. Because it may be that some people are accumulating this improvement district assessments because they don't pay it. They may not understand it. Just as a public announcement, I'd like to find out which ones are within city. And if all of them are in the county, then it's fine. I guess I see some of them said subdivisions, so I figured.
Galahad Manor, Bordeaux Oaks, Rancho Sereno, they're all in the city.
Well,
Hazelwood,
but I think we're
Country
going,
Meadows.
the thing is, this is what the county assessor gets, or this goes through them, huh? Through the county treasurer, pretty much. It doesn't matter if it's in the city or it's in the county, as the treasurer gets this, we manage it, huh? Obviously. Any money that goes through the treasurer, we are gonna manage it.
Okay.
Supervisor.
I can explain.
We're right.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Chairman Porches, members of the board, I can let you know that on the water irrigation districts, even the city brings those through us because the finance director, finance department oversees the irrigation water delivery districts. And so we collect that money on behalf of the city of Yuma as well. There can be some, even new ones, as they're established. They come through us on their behalf. And I can look and tell you in the future how many are part of the city.
It's not like we're gonna go in a crusade telling them, hey, you're paying, water districts. The city may already have them. It's just that it isn't listed as City of Yuma.
Yes.
You don't, it's just listed as a subdivision. So I was just wondering which ones were like already taken over by a city, like the city of Somerton or the city of San Luis or the city of Yuma. They're just listed as a subdivision. So they're not like individually listed, every parcel. So we wouldn't get to know that. Again, I just wanted to get a sense of that. The second, to me, the second question has to do with lighting districts, which we discussed briefly. As I remember the discussion, I think it was Orange. No, I think it was here at the what do you call it? The Colonia. We discussed putting in street lighting, and then we said the only way to do that is through an improvement district, which I see many of them here, San Luis, especially San Luis, because I know they have lighting districts everywhere now. Everybody's paying their street lights. Just to remind you, we're still waiting for that information on that one. I think you told us something about it would take a year or something.
The right of way, I think it was the engineer
right
said the right of way. Yeah, they were looking at the right of way.
Just wanted to, they've become pretty popular. I see a lot of them, SL, which is street lighting. There's street lighting.
That's San Luis.
Yeah, well, I know. I know. I
Mr.
know
Chairman.
people have always been opposed to it, but, people, how would we know if, it's a general purpose? When you say general purpose, it could mean anything. I mean, it could be parks, it could be, is that what you mean when you say general purpose? You're not separating parks, fire department, police department?
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes, when we say general purpose, the majority of the time is landscaping that they do. Sometimes they do additional projects like a wall, a retention, things like that. So just for additional clarification purposes, I want to make sure that everybody understands that the cities, they do have their own municipal improvement districts. They can form districts for the same purposes of the services that we are providing. They can form the street light, they can form, I don't know, I'm not sure about water irrigation, but for multi-purposes as well. Those are the rates that we get from the cities. And like Rachel mentioned, those are the collections that our treasurers does, so we can pay those services that we provide. The list of improvement districts that you have right now, those are the ones that are being managed by the county. There is a bill that we get from the Yuma County Water User Associations in regards to the irrigation districts, and we're making those payments on behalf of the constituents in that particular district.
You assess them in their tax.
Yes. If that district is if that district has no longer a purpose, then we can bring it to the Board of Supervisors and say the constituents wants to dissolve the district. So then that way we can take it out of the books. But right now, everything that we have, the 165 improvement districts for services that are being provided by Yuma County on their behalf.
Collection services.
Question, another question, please.
Right.
Okay, my understanding is that if they're in the city, they can, if they're in their irrigation water is paid up, they can transfer that to the city. They can fill out the form, and then the city starts paying that, correct? Not them?
Mhm.
Like in Pecan Grove,
Supervisor Pancrazy, that is correct, as long as they are no longer deriving any benefit within any part of the district in which they sit. If anybody is deriving a benefit of that irrigation, they can't just automatically.
They need to
City.
They need to sign off on it, right?
Okay. So, okay. Well, I'm thinking of Galahad Manor and Camelot. They have a irrigation water. None of those places have irrigation water. So,
Is that in the city?
it's right there on Avenue B and across from Burger King.
And let me just,
And they're allowed to, and if they wanted to, they could, and they were current. And if they're part of your thing, they have to be current, correct?
well,
So they could sign off and give it to the city.
Lynn,
And the city pay it.
let me explain.
All of them or just one person?
It's per
Sorry.
lot. Anybody that doesn't know, if you're paying for irrigation water, and if you have zero balance,
They can switch it.
You can switch it. Single lot, but it's gotta be your balance has to be zero.
I know.
You take it to the zero, to the city. So that will take care of that. It doesn't have to be as a group. It can be an individual homeowner that owes zero. Believe me, I've been fighting for this.
I know,
on
for a
this
long time.
For the
I know.
longest time. So, so just pass that on.
Thank you. That's what,
Any-
I have a whole bunch in my district that are still paying irrigation water, and they're not receiving those.
Well, I have a lot of them in Somerton too, so if you want to tag team and we'll do something, we'll sell the water to someone.
No, that's-
Chairman, Supervisor Pakrasi, I just want to emphasize,
CAC can't buy it. Go ahead.
the district has to be dissolved, the entire district,
Okay.
in order for those services, in order for those charges to stop coming to us.
Oh, so Galahad Manor can't, one person who owns a condo in Galahad Manor can't go to the city and sign off on it because it has an irrigation district fee right here. It would have to be the whole area that would sign off on it.
And it's an
The
irrigation
whole
district. They can't sell it back to them. They can give it back. But once they give it back, they can never get it back again.
Yeah, well, they're not, they're in the middle of the city. They're not gonna get it back.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, the irrigation districts won't buy it back. You
No,
can give
no.
it back to them, but once you give it back or you surrendered it, you can never get it back again.
Well, they surrender it to and then the city picks it up.
Mhm.
The city has accumulated quite a few water credits, so, yes.
Particularly for the irrigation district, we need to coordinate this with the Yuma County Water User Association. So they know that the district has been dissolved, and so there are no more charges to us, and we don't have to collect any of those funds.
I could spend my whole career just getting rid of these.
That's what I said, be careful what you wish for.
Working on them.
All right, I have
Okay.
another question, and this is a question you may be able to answer. These are listed by fund number, right? Does that make them older or newer? Is there some chronological sequence here, or is it just a fund number? Fund number 1801, 1802.
It's-
But do we know by just the number, the fund number, how old they are?
Supervisor Reyes, it started that way, a chronological order. The earlier the fund number, the older the district. But some of them, we have recycled the fund number, so that's not really applicable.
So there's no way to know.
Wow.
I'll feel more comfortable, Mr. Supervisor Reyes, if I just go and pull the information. I can tell you when the district was established.
I don't need to. I've seen them enough.
You want them in alphabetical order? Or?
Well, they can't be. They just told us there's no sense in going by fund number to get the old age, because some of the funds have been reassigned. So it could be a new district that just simply has an older number or an earlier number. It's okay. I mean, as a matter of fact, this is too much time on something we can't do very little about. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Hallelujah.
Any other questions?
I was trying to do that.
Any other questions on improvement
Let
district?
me ask you a question. How much time did you spend on this?
Thank you, Gil. Thank you, Rachel. Who's next?
That's it.
That is it, I believe, Mr. Chairman.
We got hour and 15 minutes. Maybe we should call the other departments.
We should have. I told you to keep them.
Get a head start.
Get the sheriff here. That would take half the morning.
You do have an opportunity next on the agenda if you so choose to discuss and give any direction. You have the same opportunity tomorrow afternoon after the presentations of the elected offices such as sheriff, recorder, assessor, treasurer, school superintendent, other departments. So the floor is yours for now.
Just some clarification. When you gave the presentation earlier, I'm trying to understand from your presentation here, and I guess I didn't clearly have it on my mind. But what the budget team is recommending is to lower the tax rate, or actually to reshuffle?
Redistribute it.
Redistribute it?
A little bit of a mix. So the general fund is lowered by almost 9 cents, but the total tax rate, and actually the library has an adjustment between the operations and debt service of 1 cent each, but the library district itself balances out to the same as it is this current year. Overall, the total budget tax rate remains the same as this current year.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to double make sure of that. We don't. Okay. But I do want to make it clear. We are reducing the general fund tax rate, and we're only using funds from the new construction side.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Good?
Well, I think so. If you open it up long enough, I'll think of something, but you better close it.
All right.
And again, Mr. Chair, we'll have the opportunity to do long-term modeling tomorrow. so
Tomorrow.
What the future holds.
Is everybody comfortable
Is there any
with doing
food
that
involved
tomorrow?
in the process?
Did you want to talk about the
I'll
food bank
take it
today or
later.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay.
So, all right. Thank you.